Here we are for part 2. It's your emails, which has been the most important part of the show because it's your chance to have a rant, and back in the old Punter Show days, have a bit of a. This is the only platform you can get to get what you want to say out, because goodness knows our, papers and media are all. Imagine being under Kim Jong-un's thumb, even stronger. Gotta love Kim Jong-un. What's happening? I've been worrying. My son lives in Cairns. It could be the first to be nuked. Cairns, I always think. Well, Kim Jong-un.
Well, when you think about it, we've actually been sitting under the threat of nuclear bomb all our lives. Right?
Yeah.
Right? And because you just get used to something that's there for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I was listening to stuff in 1946, 47, people were just freaked out. They just can't handle it.
You could buy a house in Mossman for $50.
They just couldn't handle the idea that this button could be pressed at any time. And as the years roll on, you just get used to the button sitting there.
I love the button. No, I'm not bagging the button. I mean, imagine if I was they say it could be 10 years of darkness and everyone would perish if nuclear bombs went off because the world would be covered in smoke because of all the fires. And I remember thinking, well, imagine if it was just 6 months of that and you made it through. It'd be awesome.
But apparently it would take 500 years for civilization to get back on its feet.
Well, who's going to be around to procreate? We're going to live underground or something? To the RANT from the gutters? Oh, there'll be no racing. Oh, I'd rather fucking die.
All right, well, you're going to put yourself out of your misery anyway. Hi guys, just wanted to say, appreciate all the info you provide. I punt for a living and you three are the most accurate with your track readings / bias at Sydney. Can't thank you enough. Cheers, Chris. That's very kind of you, Chris.
Very kind of you, Chris. Yeah, no worries.
What do we say about Randwick after that month of racing? And we're back there tomorrow on a 10-metre rail.
Back there tomorrow for 8 races. It's an okay looking program too, and fullish fields.
Straight to the outside fence?
Probably straight to the outside fence tomorrow. I spoke to young Master Brenton Abdullah, and not Master, he's not a child, I suppose. Young Mr. Brenton Abdullah.
He's got a beard too.
When he was checking out the track, just said to Brenton, "Hey, get a gun," and he just said, "Glenn, this track is it's just had enough racing. It's tired and beaten up."
Well, but it can't dry out either. It's you look at all the other tracks along the eastern seaboard.
So we've got one more meeting tomorrow. I suppose what are you got, 4 or 5 weeks off, haven't we? We've got Hawkesbury, Scones, there'll be a couple of Rose Hills. It'll come good. Navesh will be there.
Saying how beautiful the grass is.
Beautiful. Everything's sweet. I reckon Volandis would love Navesh. No problems with Navesh. Imagine if you get a greenie in there from your local golf club, old mate. Oh, this joint's fucked. Gone. Don't need you.
We can't have you, son.
Can't have you, son. No, you've got to toe the line, but not here at Racing Rant. We don't toe the line. That's why we're always in trouble anyway.
That's right. And Glenn's got, he's always got a sack full of stories. Hi, gang. Where are they now? Phil Matz, brown bread, and Roger Manning. Did Glenn have any
Phil died, didn't he? Died days ago, didn't he?
Did Glenn have any big betting duels with this pair?
Well, I got a great story with Roger. A really good story. And probably the only time I had a good bet with him. And well, maybe I had a lot of other good
bets. Because he wasn't around for that long, was he? He seemed to be.
Yeah. But I'll tell you a great story about Roger. Back in about the middle of the 80s, you've got to understand, first of all, I'm young and I'm married with 3 little children, feeding them. And Nicky used to always say, "Oh, have we got enough for a house yet? Have we got enough for a house?" "Oh, no, not yet, love, still renting."
He was looking at a Nappy Valley there.
Protecting my bank all the time, and sort of went out of play and had to sell the 2 cars we had, so poor old Nick had to get used to public transport. No, they were Toyotas in those days, Camrys or whatever they were. Anyway, so...
They were probably Crusaders.
I used to always take my money to the track. So I had no money, and then I built up again and turned nothing into 10,000, and it turned into 20, and I got it up to about 60 or 70,000 in cash. And Nick would always say, "Come on, how's this? I can get a block and land deal at Cherrybrook for $95,000, which I go, "Look," and oh no, Nick used to always say, "Look, bank won't lend me any money. I've got to win a bit more."
Yeah, you got to pay cash for your house.
I've got to pay cash for the house, like I've always done, and. So anyway, I get to the track one day, and it's funny because in those days, whenever I had money, or whatever money I had, I took all of my money to the track. So if I had 20,000, I went to the track with 20,000. If I had 42,600, I lived a couple of hundred for Nick. I'd take 42, because I know I'd have a couple of hundred at home when I got home for food. I'd take 42,400. So anyway, I go to the track. I'll never forget, because I used to put my money in Franklin's bags, and then put it in a sports bag. And I went to the track one day with just on 70 grand, owned nothing, there to bet. Did 5, did 6, I'm doing, I'll never forget it because Steve Keller was there. I was doing like 62,000 come the last race. I got 10 left to my name and I'm fucked. I know. I don't even know how I'm going to go home. It was one of the first times that they were betting the winning place, and Roger Manning, I had one horse in the last, I don't know if you'll remember its name, you might. It was a bock at Randwick, and it was called Bigglesworth.
Oh yeah, Bigglesworth. Well, Hollywood Ian will remember this story.
Yeah. Anyway, the bookies went up winning place, and it was inside on Fire Day at Randwick, and really liked Bigglesworth, and Roger went up 40s, and they quite couldn't work out the place in those days, and they went, instead of going up quarter the odds, which was 10 to 1, he went up 9's the place, and it was like dead set, 7 to 2 chance to run a place that I liked, and he actually bet me 70,000 to 7,700 a place. That's what he bet me. I said, hi guys, I said, Rog, to win 70,000 a place, I had like 9,000 left to my name. Bigglesworth just sat there, about 5 lengths from the place. They went across the line, of course, they were focused on the first 2, and I was going, please God, I'll stop praying now forever. I'll never stop praying. Please, please let it hold on. Boom, Bigglesworth into 3rd, and Colour came through the ring like this, and anyway, I won about 5,000 on the day, but I won 70,000 in a one place bet with Roger, which was like it bought you 3/4 of a home.
And what was the limit on the place then? Because I'm thinking the limit on the win was 3,000.
No. It was whatever the place was. It was the same as the win. It was the same amount when they first brought it in, and it wasn't until someone pointed out, someone like Glenn Pollock could have 3 bets and collect 3 times.
Yeah.
But Roger went, yeah, I'll bet you.
Yeah, like he would have just been shaking his head after the race.
Just going, oh yeah, fucking Pollock again.
Yeah.
And then I went home. I remember I went home and Nick said, oh, how'd you go? You didn't lose a lot of money? I said, oh no, I won a couple of thousand. I bet pretty tough and tight, and I didn't risk much of it. And it was a funny day. Now, like I said, it bought 3/4 of a home. Now, Jerry Brook, you probably need 900,000 to buy the same home, and I couldn't afford the letterbox. But I had one decent bet with Roger. Remember, never did much with Phil. Found him quite. Well, I was really young.
Jeff Pendlebury style, Phil Mates.
Yeah, dragged on the cigarette sale. Seemed a really nice man.
Yeah.
Had 2 nice sons, Phil and Kevin Matz and
Peter Matz.
And went on to be bookies. Nice fellas. Just struggled as the game got modern. Realised it wasn't for them and got out. But I'm sure they're successful people. And then Roger got away from the racings. I think he went broke and then resurrected himself in mobile phones and wanted to be rich again. So what a great trial.
We'll come up with a Jeff Landry story one day as well. Thanks for that, John. Hi, Mark, Glenn and Ginger Nuts, who's not here. I was catching up on episodes I'd missed and found Glenn's stories with Warren intriguing. It brought back memories on how going to the races used to be. I have a story with Warren also. I was bookmaking at Cessnock races in the mid-80s. Remember EGAD?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I stood up next to him, I was broken down. Broken down.
EGAD, what do you mean?
It used to say EGAD, I don't know why it was. Greg Anzac Day, and I drew the stand next to Warren. Warren went to Cessnock for a non-tabber on Anzac Day.
That doesn't surprise me. Just quickly, just diving into the story. Did you know once the bag was 5,000 short at Warren's joint, they couldn't find it wherever, and someone had long-armed it and he didn't know what it was, so he made the staff go to provincials on Thursdays till they won the 5,000 back and everyone had to work for free. Anyway, after about 7 Thursday, he was like 50,000 behind, so he didn't worry about the fine. He's a good man, Warren. He's a good trier. Yeah.
So he did 50 trying to get the 5.
Yeah, and they fucking no good.
Oh. There's our good fan over here.
Hey, mate. Hi. Yeah.
We're at the segment on Racing Rant, which is on the phone with Greg Pollock.
Jesus Christ, really? I only saw him last week.
Bad
I'm doing
news.
the show. I got to go. Bye. Oh, that's sad news. Very sad. I won't say what it is, but. Anyway, where were we?
Greg drew the stand next to Warren at Cessnock races on Anzac Day. From memory, I think it was Warren's first meeting, if not very early on in the piece. Anyway, there was a 900-metre maiden with 14 runners, and the 5-4 favourite was number 13. Warren, in his vast experience, put up 5-4 number 12 and 16-1 the favourite, number 13. I asked Warren if he was taking bets, and he said, sure, son, what do you want? Well, I asked him for 1,000 to 60 each way.
I like how you tried to get the fraction there, Greg.
Each way the favourite. He then turned it into 12 to 1. I said, can I bet again? Same response from Woody. Okay, I'll have 1,000 to 80 each way for 13. Then he turned it into 8 to 1. And then other punters attacked. So the favourite was back from 5 to 4 to 4 to 6. In those days, as you guys will recall, at Cessnock, when a horse in a 900 metre maiden was back like that, they rarely got beat. Well, it never looked like running a place.
Wow.
I think Groovy Scores wrote it so that I could tell a tale, and yes, I did lay it. I laid an even 800, but ended up losing on the race, laying the second favourite and it winning. Good luck, guys. Greg Gadd.
Good man, Greg Gadd. He's a good racing man, so that's a really good story.
That is.
I just can't believe you asked for the fraction. I just would have said, I can have 100 each way. Like, I'm actually asking for the fraction because that could put a stall in Warren's ability to win.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
Oh,
well, what are you up to there?
what's happening? Just say 100 each. Hey, yeah, 100 each way at 16s. But that's a great story. And what a great ornament to racing Warren has been.
Yeah.
Because if Warren can make it, anyone can make it in racing. Right, here we go. If Bad Glenn doesn't get 12 months for the up and rolling, we can all give up until they employ a new stewards panel. Forget this 1 to 3 months crap which everyone's talking about for an ill-judged ride or not allowing a horse to finish in the best possible position. It's all crap. That was old-fashioned, red-hot brown bread. The old team from Harold Park would have taken him out of the back for a pounding for such a poor job at being brown bread. Come on, stewards, stand up and be counted for once and prosecuting a real offender. Bearing in mind the trainer got a $30,000 fine reduced to $5,000 and you failed to take that matter any further. Once again, the punters cop it straight up that you-know-where. Horse name, this is for, and I like this horse name. He's talking about our horse, which we're looking forward to, and it's going particularly well. He thinks it should be called Shy Tappins, which is S-H-Y, one word, Shy, and then Tappins, T-A-P, and it would come out as Shy Tappins, as it does in most episodes of the RANT, and he loves the show, and he sends us his regards from Macca. Thanks so much, Macca. And
what is the line? What is the line for Bad Glenn?
4 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 months.
Well, you can't have two. You've got to say what your line is. 4 weeks, I'm saying.
Okay, well, I said 2 months.
Okay, you're saying 8 weeks. I'll be particularly surprised if he gets 8 weeks. Particularly surprised. And let's face it, if he gets 4 weeks this time of year, is it that bad for a jockey to take a lovely family around the world?
Okay, well, Shin got 8 meetings for his suspension on Saturday, right? So that takes him, he rides at Hawkesbury on Saturday.
Yes.
And he comes back for the Friday at Scone. That's 8 meetings.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just.
It's like it's not even a fortnight.
I think the Bad Glen ride was like. You've only got to watch it to just think, wow.
But it was Bad Glen because he showed it up.
Bad Glen did a bad job for Bad
Glen.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Bad Glen usually handles it quite well.
Well, maybe he wasn't trying to be Bad Glen. Just Bad Glen just snuck up on him, and he was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's like if you're a golfer and you go out there and you work hot and you miss every 3 foot putt. When your time's to come to sink the 3 foot putt, it's a particularly long putt. Glenn's just mesmerising. Another great character, the track, Glenn. I can't wait till he gets away from racing so I can give him a complete gobful.
Just a quick question for the RANT on Monday. Pretty sure some of the fellow ranters would appreciate the below. With a myriad of betting options and suppliers, who would the best 3 to have accounts with, and why? Is 3 enough or too many? Thanks again, Paul.
Well, the first place you've got to have an account with is you've got to be involved with Betfair. It's just you've got to be able to buy and sell, you've got to be able to take a position and get out of it. You've got to be able to be a bookie without expenses, bar what the turnover costs are, which, at the beginning...
They're a bit rich, yeah.
They're a bit rich,
and
but
that's
if you've
because
got the
they
turnover,
fucked up the court case.
Yeah, because let's not even talk about them fucking up the court case. Anyway, then you've got to have an account with Bet365. They offer the most...
generous prices.
Well, they're the fairest. They seem to bet. The place is pretty good. You get paid pretty quick. Everything's sweet. And I think, they're the top 2. To me, they just stand out.
Well, I would add Sportsbet to that because Sportsbet, they're up early and they've got very competitive prices.
And they do have a push button once a day or something for...
Yeah, that boost the odds. You must have a Centrebet account because Centrebet are the most aggressive bookie.
Okay. All right, well, there's 4.
Right, so there's at least 4, and I would say I was thinking I needed a CrownBet account, but I haven't seen them that active lately, and I would have said once upon a time you needed a LuxBet account, but once again they fall into that CrownBet situation. So at the moment, Betfair a must, and Bet365, Sportsbet, and Centre Bet. So four accounts. And obviously, the
Also,
problem with having
I think you need to have dynamic odds
yeah,
as part of your, you can, you've got all
it's
the prices.
what's that,
there.
$35 a month?
$35 a month.
And
Got to watch the racing
you
rant,
bet through
that
it.
costs nothing. There you go. Try to tell you how to go cuckoo. And
And you need a Betfair interface.
yes, you can't really use the normal site because other people have the interfaces. I use Bet Evolution.
You'll be beaten to the punch every time
Every
if you
single time.
use the standard Betfair interface. So we've got Badger coming on the show on
It's
Friday.
funny, I laid a horse there on Saturday, and I like to buy and sell and work out. And I laid to lose 1,000 highly geared at 13.5, and then I thought, wow, that's short odds, which is my opinion
Wow, with short odds.
at the time. And then another 30, laid to lose another 1,000 at 13.5, and then I laid to lose another 1,000 at 13.5. And all of a sudden, all this money came in the ring for highly geared at $12, and I've just laid to lose 3,000.
It was Kingsley, wasn't it?
Yeah. But as I thought that, I was like, oh, damn it, because you like to, when you're laying something, lay it at the shortest price, because if you don't lay it at the shortest price, you're costing yourself money. Sure enough, you could lay $9.80 later, which is just such a different world to 13.5. But as I'm sitting there spewing and carrying on and blah, 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 and I had my button on the $1,000 liability button, up popped. You could have $246 on it at 15.5, which I don't know whether they made a mistake. I just went from my $1,000 click, I went click to have 1,000 at 15.5, knowing that I would encapsulate all that 246.
Yep.
Grabbed all the 246, cancelled the rest of the bet because I didn't want to be on it. Basically got into a 0-0 position again with a bit of an earn, and then continued to lay it at $10.5, $10.980, and had I got it into a great position. But it was all because of one click.
Yeah, you need the one click.
I went bang, there's a mistake, bang, click.
So Badger will hopefully just make a brief appearance on the show on his way to the Betfair, the Bet Trader seminar that's on Saturday, I think. I think they're actually going to be demonstrating betting live on the race. That's why it's on a Saturday.
Wow.
So there's a link to their site that's offering this seminar that's it's going to show you how to use this software and how to trade the races. And as I say,
Badger taught me, so it's not like you're hearing from someone who doesn't know. Badger taught me, and you've heard Gord, like I spend the whole day clicking away, betting. I love it. Love the Betfair cave. I live in the Betfair cave.
All right, so you need to have that piece of software as well. Nev says...
it costs me $10 a month or something. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, it's not very expensive. On a different matter, not being a horseman, this may make a nonsense thought, but falling jockeys never have any control over where they fall as they have nothing to hang on to give them a chance to manage where they'll go. What if racing saddles were made with something that the jock could hold on? Regular saddles have horns, for example.
Like at the front there?
Yeah. A pommel, isn't it?
Whatever it is. Something between your legs to grab hold of. When you,
Does that make it worse? Aren't they better off just being dumped straight away?
I don't know. I don't know how the stewards in all the different jurisdictions work so hard on you're not allowed to hit the horse. What are you laughing at? I'm not saying
It's funny. It's funny every time it's suggested that all the stewards are just counting whip strokes.
Well, they're counting whip strokes, they've got to protect the horse. Well, what about protecting the lives of jockeys and serious injuries? I saw we've had a girl fall on Saturday and she had head trauma. Did you hear about those two boys up north riding track work last week in their 40s at Mount Isa? They're in their 40s.
Seasoned.
But they're track work riders. They've both fallen in the track gallop and both are in wheelchairs. But they both broke their back. It's just outrageous injuries from death all the way down. Now, I know, I said before I don't care and all that sort of thing, because I care so much about punting. But of course I care about people getting smashed up. And I don't know why stewards, why they allow them to ride so short.
Yeah.
The rule should be just foot's in the stirrup. If everyone's foot's in the stirrup, G-Bros bringing in the toe ridings, it killed a dozen?
Yeah, culpable.
Oh, what? It's disgraceful. Their foot should be in the stirrup and they mightn't fall as much. And it should be something that we don't want to see people getting killed at all. Do I tie? I hate it when people get injured.
G'day, fellas.
If you have half a brain, you can't quite work that out. happening.
Hayball is well. He's riding well at the moment. T.
He's riding great.
Riding very well.
Right, he's earning plenty of money. Unfortunately, we're not. But thanks for that.
G'day fellas, hope all is well. Big hello to all of you. I have a great punting story that perhaps either of you may have had a similar situation. Last Wednesday at Bendigo there was a protested race. A race where a close friend and associate of mine backed Indian Thunder, took a great price, $9, started at $3. The horse lost on protest, but never mind, he backed it with William Hill, who pays first past the post. Or so he thought. So he's ringing me cracking the shits going, why the FUCK hasn't it paid out? I took the liberty to do my research and it turns out they only pay out if the bet was placed on the app or the website. Due to his sizable bet amount of $2,000 each way, they refused his bet initially when he placed it on his phone. Consequently, when he placed it on the bet on Tuesday, he had to ring up to place the bet. So he tried to bet on the internet, on his phone, so then he had to ring up to place the bet. So the first past the post payout was irrelevant. A hard luck story, I could not help but think of, with all his bad luck, that Glenn would see the funny side to this. Regards, the Lebanese Pollard.
Well, look, I know what you mean.
Classic
it's a
story,
bit sick,
isn't it?
but like, what about how they pay out on protest results? Like, it's a magnificent thing for corporates to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I don't want to bag them because this
Yeah,
one
well, they may as well pay out on this one then, isn't it? Aren't they just paying out for goodwill? It's like, oh, you know.
2,000 each way is not goodwill. 2,000 each way is a dent in your budget.
Not for William Hill. They turn over $2.5 billion.
Still 2,000 each way.
They turn over $2.5 billion a year in Australia.
If you go asking for a $10 rise in your wages, I bet you don't get it.
Well, that's Tom's in charge.
Tom come and said hello to me the other day. God, he's a cheeky little bugger.
Remember the day you remember the day you took him to the Cumbie Chance picnic races?
He was so wet behind the ears. He's a marvel, Tom.
Nathan writes, hi Mark, I picked up on something Glenn said earlier this year. The most successful punters are not necessarily the best form students, but they know how to bet.
Oh, it's the most important thing.
It is the most important thing. That's really resonated with me, as I've always been a level stakes punter with the occasional double, triple down on highly confident bets. On the weekend, I was very bullish on Nieta, as you boys were too, and instead of playing my usual $100 level stake, I had a good crack, at least by my standards, and placed a $1,000 bet at $2.30. Which leads me to my question, how did you all play Nieta on Saturday in comparison to your other bets on that day, or just in general? Love your show. Cheers, Nathan.
Well, it's a really tricky price range for me to really find comfort, but I did have as good a bet as I can have on something. But again, only because the fair kept like offering better odds, I guess I kept backing it. But
all right. So why was she so soft in that race?
I'm not comfortable in that. I don't know why.
Because
why were they so
I
high?
took 235 and I just wasn't brave enough to back up at 245 fixed. Because once again it's a price range that I find a bit uncomfortable.
Nathan, I'll give you a good example. If I had 2,000 on Nieta, I would be with the way my bank size at the moment, I'd be really uncomfortable. But if I really like something at 8-1 and had 1,000 each way on it,
you'd be more comfortable.
I'd nearly have 2,000 each one. So
it's about risk reward for you. You need to get a lot of reward.
Yeah, I need to go you beauty, and I can cop doing the 2 or the 4,000 because I know 20 is going to arrive soon.
Yeah.
But when I'm betting in that range, I'm petrified that the market's going to be right. Maybe it's going to have a bad ride, or it's going to be.
It's an area of the market where.
But so many people are comfortable there.
Well, they are, and look, I think that they're probably right. That there's so much supply at that area of the market that's where you should be trading as a punter. There's so much supply. But you know, how many bookies are going to be prepared to bet you 16-2 each way?
No, they'd rather turn it off and not bet at all. Because they think, hope Glenn's right here, because I'm trying to back the bookie split.
There's no supply in that area, and so therefore your overs are much narrower.
I'm still uncomfortable there, but I'm glad you had and I'm glad you were bullish enough. If you're a $100 level step, you've had 1,000. That's a great bet for you, and I'm glad you followed us because we liked it. And we liked it Friday. We all thought it was moral. We thought black odds was good odds. From the parade, it tipped itself. It looked outstanding. The only thing that turned you off it was the marketplace, and the marketplace was kind of right because I don't think it went that good.
Well, it's kind of right, but the marketplace was saying, okay, we're going to lay Nieta. We're going to back Super Maxi, who drew gate 1.
Yeah, but I didn't clue onto these inside barriers being that bad till the meeting was over.
We're going to back. No, well, I was not backing I was not backing my psychiatrist because it drew gate 1 straight away. I just went. So what's that, race 5? I mean, as far as I was concerned, gate 1 was gone.
And lead was tricky.
Yeah. So Super Maxi draws gate 1, and the other horse they backed in the race was highly geared that I'd marked 50s.
I marked it 25s, that's why I led the 13.5 twice, and then 3 times, but was able to one click out because of thanks to evolution.
So I was sitting there going, well, I'll take 235 Nieto because it's got a firm. And it didn't. It never did. It just got out.
It got out so much you swore it was dead. Well, not dead, but
yeah.
going to get beat. I hate saying dead because you get into trouble when you say dead. It's just a racing term. So when I say, oh, who was that bloody horse at Rosehill that won, led all throughout? You know, the Melbourne horse came up, Jungle Edge. And I got on the show the next RANT and said, oh, I won a one goer. And I remember, I worried all week that
someone was going to pinch you.
The old Brill Cream boys were going to ask me to come and explain how this horse won a one goer. But what I'm trying to say
is only one horse could win.
Yeah, not all the other jockeys backed it. The old days, like the George Freeman days of it's a one goer. It's just racing terminology.
Yeah.
And I spent 3 days not sleeping thinking, oh my God, Dingwall or Brill Cream boy, what's his name? The boss. Van Gessler going to ring me, can you come in again? Oh, fucking, you said this. Oh shit, I didn't mean it that way. So there's a line between what you actually say and what you actually mean.
But I wonder if...
I got all that trouble saying I don't care about jockeys.
Yeah.
And I really like jockeys.
I know, but that was also Murray just about to quit. I wonder if there was, it was a timing thing that you could have said it this June and
but I got so many of the jockeys offside. What, are their brains that small that they don't realise it's just me talking shit? Blokes like Paddy Murphy and all them blokes that they rang me and said, it's just you talking shit.
Yeah.
I've been talking shit for 5.5. I've talked shit my whole life.
Yeah.
Imagine caring what I thought.
Yeah. You are also trying to be...
I'm the most unsuccessful person in Australia.
Entertaining.
I'm coming fucking last. You're all in front of me. You're all better.
Anyway, good on you, Nathan. And I think what you're really trying to underline is you must have the courage of your convictions. That, when you really like something, you've got to make sure that that's a good result for you.
That you maximise, because all the times you'll minimise because of poor decisions, bad judgment, and fucking stupid mistakes. Look, I go to the races. I'm going the next 6 days in a row. I'm going to go to Randwick, Canterbury, Gosford or Wyong, wherever it is.
Wyong.
I'm going to Goulburn on Friday. So I've got, after the thing, I'm doing Hawkesbury, and I'm backing up for now on Sunday. I'm going 6 race meetings right. I cannot wait.
And you would go to Gosford and Newcastle, except they're on the same days as Randwick and Hawkesbury.
I'd be there. I'm sending men there. I cannot wait to get there. And I know after 37 years, I am going to make probably 50 fucking mistakes. And there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
But I've just got to make 20 really good decisions to pay for those 50 mistakes, and then one other good decision somewhere to get some money on the way.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of game you're dealing with.
It is, and it's very well put, Glenn. Servicini writes, the yarn should be documented as a community service to history. My memory of John Stollery was he'd never turn the price off until I walked away.
Yeah, he was a real man, John. He was
larger than life.
He was larger than life. Even the way he sat there and did look at you as you walked up, and it was like you were walking to the OK Corral. You knew you had a quicker gun. You knew you could beat him, and you knew somehow you weren't immoral. He's a man.
There was a big stink while we were off air because for Easter about the treatment of the Sydney Cup, which was a no race, and I think originally Tab was hoping to hang on to all the all-in bets and only refund the all-in bets that were final acceptors.
Right.
And there was a lot of jumping up and down, rightly so, that despite the fact that the all-in bets didn't make the final field, they couldn't have won. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't a result. There wasn't a result to get a... So I think there was a lot of heat on Tab about that, and they caved, or they finally rescinded that original proposal that they only refund the final field runners.
Yeah, well, the Tab are going to be bending over backwards for the next 12 to 24 months, hoping that Four Corners doesn't knock on their door and start asking them some questions about these fines. Because the more I learn about these fines and things I've heard, whether they're whispers or Chinese whispers, I know so much about this, and a lot of it, because they're fines, has got to come up in public record, and we need to get some things because...
So is Four Corners, I mean, Four Corners, that's a perfect means of bringing... shining some light on this business.
If they shine light on what's happened with the Tab and what's obviously happened with Racing New South Wales and behind closed doors, fair income, everyone will just be, might as well Kim Jong-un may as well turn up and let off bombs because they'll all be gone. Like there's got to ask yourself, and I did. There's things happens with overseas accounts, with money laundering, money going back to Syria. I've heard a million stories.
It's pretty
money going back to Syria, but it doesn't sound good to me.
It's pretty juicy, and we're really hanging out for an expose.
The stewards' lack of action is deafening.
Well, it's unfortunate.
Like I mentioned every week, and the stewards do not want this to go any further. Racing around's our only hope, Mark.
Our only hope. And unfortunately, we weren't around for Good Friday. Twitter was wondering were the Glennsta and Gordo heading to the pews. Not me. How was your Good Friday?
Good. There you go.
We were speaking about Fox Play being Waller's only non-Winx Group 1 winner. I think Wall checked it out and said the last one was Preferment in last year's BMW, and the prior to that was Preferment in the dodgy upheld protest in the Australian Cup, and prior to that was Good Project the December before in WA, which is a
Not
bodgy
really
Group
Group
1 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a bit thin, isn't it?
That is a bit thin for.
But I would have always said that Waller was more a meat and potatoes. I know he's won, tons of Doncasters and all that sort of stuff, but his horses tend to be the regulation horses. He's got a lot of regulation horses.
And he never amps up with young 2-year-olds.
No.
So he's not going to win any 2-year-old.
Well, I suppose he does. He does tend to go to Brisbane and win the JJ Atkins, Brazen Bow, and Press Statement.
Let's not start selling two-way for Wally. He's all right. He's made a quid.
Someone
sent us a great photo here of
Matt Williams. Yeah, he said, "Can we get one of these for the Glennsta?" And I'll just show you there. It's on Twitter. And tell us about the jersey, Glenn.
Well, is it a South jumper? It's a Bunnies jumper.
Yeah, it's a
and it has tap out on the front. Tap out. So maybe young Dallas Baker took all our tap out ideas and opened up a new company. Dowboy. I don't know. Does anyone know what tap out is? Is it a company?
Well, it seems to be an endorsement of some kind on the jersey. Daniel West said, watching Formline on Sky and just heard Ron Duffy, used the term #penjob for Melbourne horse travelling to Sydney.
Oh, Ronnie! You're going to steal our stuff. Just send us something.
He might have been jumping on too late because all the pen jobs have been winning.
Yeah, I know.
They've been a lot winning.
BJ, Hope Glenn says at Canterbury they're giving Glenn an almighty spray. That was remarkable. Well, Glenn got back in and didn't have another ride afterwards, but I did carry on for about half an hour, and it was particularly funny because...
you led the demonstration.
Well, I led the demonstration.
You led the chorus.
And it was an absolutely fat result for me getting beat. I'd laid it to the bejesus because I thought, this is profiles bad Glenn. I'm against this. You've got to work within the boundaries you get, and if you can work out the bad Glens out there, I'm not unhappy that bad Glenn turns up. I make money out of bad Glenn. And then when he gets up, it's bad Glenn.
#bad Glenn looks so gosh darn good at doing this. We'll have to argue with that. He looks so bad doing it.
This is the one time he looked bad, but the other times he's bloody good at it, I'll tell you.
They were keen to see the rant last Tuesday because obviously it happened on the Monday. Bad Glenn has provided a lot of fodder for an all-time Pollitt gobfall.
That's Pollitt with 2 T's next time. Young Jace, or is that Matt Taylor? No.
No, it was Jace. Jace, a good man, Jace, who wrote a very nice piece on our Facebook page as well.
Is that Jason?
No.
No. Okay. Not the bloke, but old mate, doesn't matter.
Anyway, Matt Taylor, he wanted to talk about the Harbour Bridge race, which is a complete gimmick that they've been flogging in the press.
I'm not even going to comment on it. I said no one would buy a seat in the Everest, and I've never seen anything sell out quicker. I don't want to talk about the fact that I do not think there's going to be a race in the Harbour Bridge or a date.
So what's happened is an English company's come along, I know you don't want to talk about it, and promoted this idea to the state government.
Is it a race meeting?
No, it's a race.
One race?
I think it's one race.
I heard it's a race meeting. Can you imagine that, with the bookie stands on the bridge? I'd back 3 losers and jump off.
They'd have to change the rules of racing, wouldn't they? To put on a race meeting. It'd have to be an exhibition race. No betting, no betting.
Just like one race and you got them all going down. There's 5 of them, it'd be a 5-way dead heat, like a track galley.
Yeah.
With no betting on it.
Well, I can't see, surely it's an unregistered track, the Harbour Bridge.
Oh, let's not talk about it. If I'm going to the Harbour Bridge to go to the races once a year, I will jump off the bridge. That's when I will go.
Anyway, Michael Nielsen, he replied to Matt Taylor. He said he'd heard the bridge is a little uneven, slopes towards the east. I think hard up against the west side rail may be the place to be.
That's bloody funny, Michael.
Matthew Rose, who's a very kind fan of ours, we often see him at the track. He says, does Glenn need a new hoodie for his upcoming winter? I'm the gear steward at my local soccer club, would like to send him one.
Gee, that's kind of you, Matthew. No, I'm all right. I don't like people giving me things, but bloody nice of you to say that.
And
Plus, I've been winning lately, so I can afford those hoodies. Remember, 2 for 70, but the first one's for 60. I'm actually buying 2 this year.
Terry Turnbuckle on Twitter said, tough watch once more a lady. This was why on Wednesday. Once again, the inside was no good. I think that was the problem. Looked like Shin could have got into the van easily with any intent. Karen taking Blake to school. Karen did seem to get to the lead particularly easily on that difficult to get 1,000 metres.
I agree with that.
You know, he just shouldn't have been able to find the lead that easy.
It has a stink too, that was that well found.
Karen. There was a wag that when we said on Friday that Chad was coming to console Glenn.
Popper.
Well, apparently Glenn was spotted at Happy Valley on Thursday night.
Yeah, straight out of the country.
Huh?
Yeah,
Dad was at Happy Valley on Thursday night.
When you earn untold fortunes and you just put in your details in, and next thing you're first class on a plane.
Yeah.
Your money's no actual issue in your life.
Yeah.
You do whatever you like. See, if someone like us gets some time, well, I'm going to go to the Belrose Tip and try and scavenge around for some fucking old toilet paper to reuse.
Where he used to be sighted, Belrose Tip is an old hunting...
Been to Belrose Tip for a day out with the kids. Used to take them there on Sundays when it was no good. Like those little Pakistani kids scavenge around. Could come back, Dad, I found a gumboot. Keep that. When it's no good, it's no good. Jockeys don't understand what's no good. Like, yeah, it's just one day because Huey's a fellow resident of Coogee and he walks around Coogee, has a coffee in there, and I would say, g'day, Hugh. And I always thought this morning, I was thinking, if I bumped into Hugh, what do you do with all that money when it's just like every single week there's 20,000 going into your bank account or 30,000 or Winks wins 100,000? What do you do with that much money?
I don't know, especially if you're not really brought up to handle money like that. He's just a battler from the bush, but where is he from?
I think he's from a rich family.
Right, okay, but they'd be asset rich, not cash rich.
Yeah, no, he'd be country people.
Yeah.
Country people, they're worth 10 million, they look like they haven't got a caser.
Yeah.
D. Baxter.
Yeah.
Plenty of money, but looks like he hasn't got a caser. Always whinging.
Like a bookie.
Like a bookie. Loves it, D. Baxter.
Rating to win, they tweeted, winner of the no race wins the rerun. Quoted Rob Waterhouse, hashtag polarisation. Ratings to win, of course, a few of you have taken advantage of the info pack that's on our website. I will say that one of the features of Ratings to Win that I've found particularly helpful in the last few weeks is that they have a verify track condition where you plug in the overall time and the sectional time. It tells you how fast they've gone and it tells you what the track condition is in relation to the announced track condition. I can tell you that at Taree a few weeks ago, they put up a heavy 10. Soft 6, said Rating to Win. Soft 6. At Kembla on Keith Nolan Day, heavy 8 was upgraded to a soft 7.
Oh, it was better than that.
4. Ratings to Win said good 4. On Saturday at Randwick, heavy 8. Plugged in my numbers. It said heavy 9.
Oh, no.
Randwick have all been on the underside. But look, it's a very, very handy tool. So, you know, you want to get a quick handle on the track. You want to know how quickly they've gone in that race to make an assessment about, you know, what's what. And this verify race day track condition where you just plug in the times and it calculates it for you is very, very, very neat tool. So check out Ratings to Win. Don't forget the Badger's coming on Friday for a quick word about his Betfair seminars. And we've got a big week coming up where Anzac Day I'll have a staking plan and a comprehensive set for tomorrow. Canterbury will be a staking plan and a comprehensive set. Wyong Thursday. There'll be Hawkesbury Mounting Yard Mail.
Yeah, we're doing the Mounting Yard Mail from Hawkesbury.
Greg Rudolph's first standalone?
I'd say so. Anyway, he'll be right. And so Gordy will be coming out to Hawkesbury. You both coming out to Hawkesbury, probably?
I don't know if it's Gord back or not.
Someone will be sending him out. So
yeah, I think he's back.
Hawkesbury's good place to have a bet. Snowy barred there years ago.
Yeah, he's barred there, and I must say that I've had a look at Hawkesbury lately, and it is rubbish form, Hawkesbury. But then again, standalone is different again.
Yeah, Saturday horses will be going up there. So Saturday horses at Hawkesbury, another ladybug.
You actually need to get to Hawkesbury, so you got a handle on Scone a fortnight later, don't you?
Yes. Yeah.
And, you know,
And,
obviously we've got a lot of very wet Randwick form that's coming, that's feeding into the next month, which is a problem as well.
Yeah, because we're going to have horses beating 13 lengths, they're going to come out and bolt in.
Glenn gets very excited when he sees horses tailed off. He's,
Very excited.
they're black bookers as far as he's concerned.
I'm the greatest forgiver on a race course, unlike a lot of people out there.
So no midweek preview this week because obviously we've got to get through the last post tomorrow. But there'll be a Hawkesbury preview show with just the two of us on Friday.
Remember the old two-up games they used to have at the track on Anzac Day?
Yeah, car park.
They're not even there anymore.
Gee, every pub has a two-up game. Even the Imperial, which is the Priscilla pub up here, has two-up.
Miss Bondi wins 500 every Anzac Day. She bets blokes even 20, and then when she loses a bet, they tell her to keep the 40. She's the best. All right, thanks so much for watching.